Renner Field, which was Legends Field at the time. Before the game, I get there 4 or 5 hours later. Players are walking by. They stop. They engage with fans. They sign autographs, crack a joke. They take a moment for the fan. My Yankee man, caveman room at my house has increased exponentially with autograph material. My point, though, in 1998, players were fan accessible. The stars were fan accessible. Rivera, Jeter, Bernie, Paul O'Neill, they all stopped. A few years later, not very long, say 2002, they erect these 10-foot fences at Legend Field. And now you can no longer have as much access. And now today, there is probably no access. I quit going to spring training because of the way it was handled, not having access to the players. That was what was fun during spring training with me. I went to Dodger Town one year when the Dodgers were still in Florida, and I walked alongside Orel Hershiser's dad and just had a conversation. And you can do that. You could do that then with the players as well. And Major League Baseball, somewhere along the line, lost that. It became way too corporate and much less family. And now Major League Baseball, with Corona, you have an opportunity to make it more family and less corporate. Players, consider it a blessing to be in the position that you're in. You're not on a throne. You're a good baseball player, but one day the baseball playing stops. And I know there can be unruly fans. I know there can be obnoxious fans, but the fans, for the most part, that I deal with are respectful of the player. Work on that. It's a great opportunity to show the fan, hey, you matter. Hey, we want you back. And hey, we want to be at least on par, if not more so than the other major sports in fan relations. So with this proposal of 82 games, with this proposal of reduced salaries, let's meet behind closed doors. Let's iron it out like a family. Let's work it out quickly. And if we do have games in early July and spring training in June, let's be precautious and let's play the game to the best level we can. How about that? Now, Bryce Harper comes out and says, I think we should play in the Olympics. First of all, question, and I agree with him. I totally agree with him. I think in a regular, normal season, maybe next year, Major League Baseball takes a 2 or 3 week hiatus and they participate with our best in the Olympics. A lot of pitchers because you don't want to wear your pitchers out. I get that. No limit to the roster size, I hope. Maybe you carry 20 pitchers instead of 10. Maybe you have a roster of 40. But my question is on a non-pitcher lineup, non-pitcher, let's see who's going to start. Does Bryce Harper even make the team? Does Bryce Harper even start? Because I can go through real quickly and name some outfielders who play before Bryce Harper does. On the American team, how about Mike Trout? How about Christian Yelich? How about Mookie Betts? How about Cody Bellinger? There's 4 right there. Are there more? Now, Harper, a great player, no doubt about it. And I'm not here to knock his idea. I'm just trying to say who would even be on our Olympic team. There's so many options at so many positions for an American team. But I'm just curious as to the fact, would Harper start? Probably not. Would he make the team? Don't know. It would depend on roster restrictions. Just something to think about. Hey, are you guys with me this morning? Thanks for listening to Lenny Melnick Fantasy Sports. This is Arnie's Fantasy World of Sports every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday morning. I'm ready to talk about some games. Aren't you, DeMazins? George, Lenny, Clarona, DeMazins, Rotorius, Guest, Leone. Tonight, it's Phil Chaplin. I hope everyone has a great day today. I'll be back on Thursday. We'll talk about some more free agents. We'll talk about the schedule. I told you earlier in the week we went through some of the players on your free agent market. Free agency is going to be really interesting in 2020 after the season, don't you think? I mean, revenue already down. And we've already talked about pitchers. We've already talked about catchers. We've already talked about first basemen. How about shortstops who will be free agents after this year? And coming off what was just a career season, 30-year-old Marcus Semien. Now, if you just look at 2020 numbers, there's no touching Semien. He had a 7.6 WAR last year. Wow. 30 homers, double-digit steals, 120 runs scored, 100 RBIs. If he puts up similar numbers over a prorated season, then what happens to Semien on a free agent market? And right now, I have no idea. I have no idea what a free agent market's going to look like. I have no idea how willing owners are going to be to spend money to sign free agents in an offseason after this season. Other shortstop free agents. Andrelton Simmons, who 31 years old, arguably the best glove on the market. Now, for fantasy purposes, that's not that interesting to us, but Andrelton Simmons is at least an average bat. Didi Gregorius will be a free agent. Freddie Galvis will be a free agent. Jose Iglesias, the Orioles shortstop, will be a free agent, as will Adrianzana and Hechavarria. Now, those are your shortstops. Not a deep shortstop pool once you get past Semien. Third base, Justin Turner. Now, he's interesting in that in 2021, he will be 36 years of age. And we know what happens to hitters when they hit that 36-year age mark. But he's an elite bat. And over the past 3 seasons, Turner has hit .307 with a .519 slug percentage. Over the last 3 seasons, 62 homers and 1,500 plate appearances. He had a .290 average last year. He has been at least 20% above league average hitter since 2013. And though he's probably not the defensive wizard, he's still a tough out at bat. He's defensive runs scored at -3. So he may be a liability at third, but he is a great bat. The problem there again, he's going to be 36 years of age next year. Another third base free agent, and Lenny loves this guy. I kind of like him too. I don't know what kind of opportunity he's going to get this year. It'll be interesting to see with the DH. But what about Jake Lamb, free agent to be, who had shoulder surgery 2018, didn't play much last year. Now in 2016 and 2017, which takes us back 4 years, in those 2 years combined, he hit 59 homers. And he'll be 30 years old when he hits the market. He could be a real steal. Now last year, coming off injury, 169. Yeah, 169 average. Not Jake Lambish. But he still has only 440 career plate appearances against lefties. He has a .259 career average against righties. I got to keep my eye on that guy. I think with the... Good morning, Andrea. I think Jake Lamb if he could come back this year and have a decent year in a free agent market with the power that he has, I think he's got to show the power though, right? Got to show that power. Big year, free agent year, walk year. Asdrubal Cabrera, a free agent as well. What are the Nationals going to do with Cabrera? Now, there's some who think he's going to play every day. What does that do to Carter Kieboom? I don't know. It's going to be interesting. We get back into spring training, I think we'll have a much, much better feel for where a rookie might be, where a veteran might be. I'm sure Cabrera, who can play all over the place, he can play first, he can play third, he can play second. At one point, he played short. Don't see that happening. But he's going to be 35 when 2021 starts. He has had, though, look at this, at least 514 plate appearances in each of the past 9 seasons. That includes last year. So he's durable. Even though he'll be 35, he's in his age 34 season. And I think it'll be interesting to see how Washington plays him. Now, I'm going to include DJ LeMahieu in this list because he is a free agent. He plays all over the place. But he's going to be the second baseman this year for the Yankees, it appears. But what a year last year he had for New York. He's going to be a free agent. Do the Yankees try to re-sign him? Or does he hit the market? Tommy La Stella. Remember what happened before La Stella got hurt last year? 321 appearances. He was hitting .295 with 16 home runs. Then he hurt his shoulder. He had been a platoon player. It looks like now he probably will be a starter. And he's having into his free agent year. Interesting look there at third base. So now we're going to move to, let's move to the outfield. How about corner outfielders first? And I say that because this year, 2020, has been an odd year for everybody. But the Dodgers go out and they trade for Mookie Betts, who they knew was in a walk year, 28 years old. We know Mookie Betts, what he can do. We know he is a 5-tooler, and he has yet to play a game for the Dodgers. And the Dodgers, will they try to re-sign him? I don't have a clue. But I do know this. I do know he's a free agent. Probably will get a qualifying offer. He's been an every other year kind of player. In even numbered years, 16 and 18, he has been awesome. In 17 and 19, he has been good. But there's a difference in A and B. He's been a B in the odd-numbered years. He's been an A in the even-numbered years. And this was an even-numbered year. And now we're cutting it short. And it's a free agent year. And Mookie needs to play. George Springer, 31. He's been basically a center fielder, right fielder. He only played in 122 games last year, folks, and still hit 39 home runs. A Springer dinger, 39 of them. You know Houston's going to give him a qualifying offer. Come on. Where does he wind up? Nick Castellanos, 29 years old. He can opt out. He signed this 4-year deal with the Reds, $64 million. But he can opt out after each season. Now, I don't see that happening after this season. I really don't. But if you look at the 2 months he was a Cub, after he gets out of the American League, after he leaves Detroit, comes over to Chicago for 2 months, he hit .321 with a .646 slug. Could he try to modify his deal? Sure. But do you think he's really going to opt out in a year where owners are not going to be wanting to pay money? Probably. I think Castellanos last year signing the 4-year deal was a stroke of genius. Particularly with him having options each year after the season to opt out. I don't see it happening. I think he stays a Red into 2021. And then 2 more I want to talk about